I'm trying to write my first batch specs. Look at my first requirement. Fetch all the customer records. Fetch all the customer records. Fetch all the customer records which are owned by fetch all the customer records which are owned by Satish and reassign them to now what was my requirement? Fetch all the customer records which are owned by Satish and reassign them to Wilson. Now in the database there are 20,000 records which are owned by Satish. Then what happened? When there are 20,000 records, obviously we need to go for batch. Now, how do you implement a batch batch? How do you implement a batch batch? Global class implements the base dot. So, now what is the first method we have? Start method. The start method global database dot. Why you are taking query locator? Because we are writing a query on the customer object, getting the data. Query locator start database dot dashboard context. Now first I need to get user u equal to select ID from user where last name equal to. Let me check what is the last name of Satish. The first name is Satish. Where first name equal to Satish. Then you want to execute a query. So what is the query you want to execute? Select ID comma owner ID from customer where owner ID equals to what is the query you are writing? Where owner ID equals to UID. So how do you write the UID? Slash single quote ID. Because I will put a single quote after the ID. This is how I wrote the query. I told you, whenever you want to append a string values, you will use what? Slash single quote, it will add single quote after the value. Then you want to execute. How do you execute the query now? How do you execute the query now? Listen. Return database dot get query locator. We are going to execute. When you execute the query, what we are going to get? We are going to get the records which are owned by Satish. We are going to get the records which are owned by Satish. Once you get the records which are owned by Satish, then we want to execute. What is the logic we are writing? Local void database dot batchable context list of this one. What is the logic I have to implement? First identify the owner of select ID from user where first name equal to user. If you want to reassign the records to Wilson, you should know the ID of the Wilson. Then what I am doing? For customer, C, what are the list of record? Scope. The scope what we have? C dot owner ID equal to dot. Then I am updating. Update. What did I do? Start method has written a query, fetches the records which are owned by Satish. In the execute method, what we are doing? We are reassigning the records to Wilson. Then what is the final method we have? Global void Generally, in the finish method, what we do is send an email. Generally, the finish method, what we do? Sending an email that following data is modified. Okay. This is how we treat it. People have followed the requirement. What did I do? In the start method, what I have done? Fetch the data which is owned by Satish and I reassign the records to Wilson. Now, why I am going for a batch-to-batch? Because I am expecting more than 20,000 records in this query. Now, Satish owns more than 20,000 records. Because of that, there is a possibility of hitting what? Governing limits. When there is a possibility of hitting the governing limits, break the operation to number of batches. Now, once you are done, how do you execute? You want to execute only once or you want to execute number of times? If you want to execute only once, you can define directly like this. Create an object for the batch mix. Create an object. Create an object. Once you create an object, if you want to execute, I will give ID, job ID equal to database dot execute. So how are you going to execute? Database dot execute batch, object of the batch, and I give size equal to 5. When you give size equal to 5, what does it mean? Break 5 records into one batch. When you are asking them to break into number of batches, you have to give the size of the batch. So what is the size of the batch I give? 5. Now, once you get the records, break 5 records into one batch, and every batch run the execute method. Right? How you are going to execute the batch next? Database dot execute batch. Then execute. When you execute it, any asynchronous job that is running, it will be registered with what? Async effects job. So go to monitor, jobs, effects job. What happened? Batch mix. How many batch mix are there? Why 2 batch mix? Why 2 batch mix? Because why 2 batch mix? There are records up to 10. How many records are here? 10 records are there. As there are 10 records, then what happened? 2 batches. As there are 10 records, there are 2 batches. Because I told batch size equal to 5. So what happened now? All the records are reassigned to Wilson. All the records are reassigned to Wilson. People have followed. When there is a possibility of hitting the governing limits, when there is a possibility of hitting the governing limits, then we define batch mix. Then we define the operation as batch mix. Right. Let me do one more example.